Text number 12. The importance of tolerating interstices, babushka markets in Ukraine and Eastern Europe, and their role in maintaining local food knowledge and diversity by Saukant, Stramets, Fonter Francesco, and Pieroni, 2020. This article describes the phenomenon of babushka markets, which originated in the territories of post-Soviet countries, in our case, Ukraine. Babushka markets is not only a kind of haven for Western ethnobiologists, but also for local foodies interested in gastronomic diversity and taste. That is why scientists have three main scientific questions underlying this remarkable phenomenon. The first one is, why are babushka markets still so popular in transition economies? The second one is, what are the circumstances under which they originated? And the third one is, what are the diverse environmental, socio-political, socio-cultural, and economic factors that have affected their existence and survival? In one sentence, the idea of the article will sound like that, in my opinion. The unique post-Soviet phenomenon of babushka markets needs to be reserved in the conditions of economic transformation. In the paper, there were no significant description of literature, but we can see that this work will contribute to the ongoing discussion regarding the importance of alternative food networks, emphasizing a short supply chain, high quality and environmentally friendly production methods, and the way in which to sustain traditional food production on the Ukrainian example. The methodology of this analysis had a rather qualitative format. During 2015-2019, the authors visited 20 different markets within 28 visits in 10 different locations in Ukraine. The authors conducted informal conversations during their visits with people who selling foods and who buying the foods on babushka markets. Then comparison and parallels were carried out based on the author's experience and field observations in several other towns and cities in post-Soviet Union countries, for instance, Estonia, Azerbaijan, Albania, and Romania. Ukrainian babushki are in some sense remnants of the Soviet system of legal sale of household products and are doomed to extinction in a regular environment. However, their social protection function is underestimated. There are no employment opportunities in the village, and selling their goods is the only way to earn money. Moreover, the function of economic security is also underestimated, since they provide food not only for their own, but as well as people living in the city. Speaking about the cultural function, the first generation of urban residents perceive home and food brought to the city after visiting their parents that still live in the rural areas as a symbol of belonging and identity. And the sale of excess products itself is often perceived as the only opportunity to get enough resources to lead a habitual lifestyle. Thus, the following conclusions can be traced in the work. The practice of babushka's market creates a bridge that connects official food markets with the household economy. The products presented today at unofficial stands are a modern expression of the gastronomy that developed in the domestic sphere during the Soviet era. Babushka markets are the gateway for the domestic goods to enter the market. At the same time, they can be considered as the first form of integration of the household economy into a broader market economy. Urban consumers' demand for the new product complements babushka's search for additional source of income for the household and hidden demand for public recognition. Regardless of economic and hygienic considerations, such practices should be supported and not prohibited by legislations at the governmental or community level, since the practice of selling homemade food can contribute to food security and the preservation of traditions that may otherwise be lost and cannot be restored when they are needed. For me personally, babushka markets are extremely irrelevant as I'm from Belarus, where they can still be observed as well as in Ukraine. Since my childhood, I remember the stories of my parents that they were buying goat milk from one babushka. They were coming to her like every week or so, and they told me that there were so high established relations that this babushka even was calling on phone to my parents when the fresh milk was gathered. so we could buy it first and the freshest one. Later, I personally noted the importance of these activities as unfortunately most of grandparents after retirement simply become redundant in society. In the same way as it was stated in one of the articles that we prepared for our previous seminars, people become simply unnoticed, but this opportunity to go out and have a talk with people, feel some attention to them, is more important than money. This is the opportunity for all people to feel useful for society. Thank you for your attention.